beautiful night as this 4th of July weekend celebration continues. Full house once again at Coors Field. Fireworks afterward. The Rockies have been on a roll. They've won the first two of this four-game set against the Giants. And the Rockies, for the first time this year, 6 games above 500. Welcome inside Coors Field. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Tonight is game number 81, the halfway point of the 162-game Major League Baseball season. Rockies 6 games above 500 a year ago, 4 games north of 500 after 80 ball games. Things are looking pretty good. Ubaldo's going tonight, and we love that.
No, you got to love that. 14 wins, looking for number 15, which, again, the last guy to do that was Wells a few years ago to win 15 before the All-Star break. He was very good against the Boston Red Sox. The slider worked, the fastball away to Ortiz. No opportunity. 1.83 earned run average in 16 starts. The opposition hitting just a little over 200. Are you kidding me? What a year this young man's put together.
And you know what? He's been good every night, so I don't want to say he needs to be good tonight because we know he's going to be good. But Barry Zito, who he's going against, has dominated the Rockies in his career, even when he wasn't going well, George.
Well, explain it. 5-2, 195 earned run average against the Rockies, and another that has pitched well at Coors Field, which is a little bit baffling because his curveball is so slow, it's a touch-and-feel pitch for him, yet he has very good command of it here at Coors Field.
In his career, he's held the Rockies to a 193 batting average in 13 starts. Great pitching matchup. We'll talk about the Rockies bullpen. They have been very special, really all year long. We'll check them out when we return. Rockies getting ready for game 3 against the San Francisco Giants. Again, it's Ubaldo Jimenez against Barry Zito. Drew Goodman upstairs again with George Frazier. The Rockies bullpen last night picked up the last 3 innings, and they did not allow a hit.
Well, this bullpen all year long. Look, you're not going to win your division. You're not going to get to the playoffs unless you have a very, very good bullpen. And they have to be solid from both sides, left and right. And Belial has really done a nice job. Betancourt working the 8th inning. Okay. Street last night, he's back. He's doing very good sliders, very good changeups, and an excellent sinker on the outer half of the plate. But you're not going to be successful if you don't be able to counter what a visiting manager puts on you. He runs up a big left-hander, say a Giambi. You better have a left-hander to match up with him. You're not going to have much success. The Rockies have that.
They have done a terrific job all season long. They're in a very good place, in particular, right now. For more on this one, we go downstairs, check in with Alana Rizzo. Good afternoon, Alana.
Good afternoon, guys. I appreciate it very much. Coming up for me in the ball game, goal! The Colorado Rockies not just worried about what's happening on the diamond, they're paying attention to the pitch as well. And then Renaissance man Barry Zito adding just another hobby on his long list of hobbies. I'll tell you what this one is coming up in the game, guys.
Wait. Run that. What's the first thing again? Oh, we'll get her to do it again later. Ubaldo's on the hill against Barry Zito. Rockies and Giants, come on back with us. FSN is brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. By E470, quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. By Ford Escape, so much fun, so little fuel. Ford Escape, drive one. And by Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. Ubaldo Jimenez walking in with Robert Apodaca as the Rockies ace is set to go. It'll be start number 17 for Ubaldo in search of victory number 15. He has been the most dominant pitcher in the big leagues this year. And second place is far off in the distance. Andres Torres will lead it off. The switch hitter will be in right field tonight for Bruce Bochy. And here's the rest of Bochy's lineup. Freddie Sanchez struggling at the plate. The average has slipped to 283. Aubrey Huff a couple of home runs last night. Pablo Sandoval has swung the bat to the tune of plus 400 against Ubaldo Jimenez. Then Juan Uribe. Buster Posey behind the plate in the 6-hole. Just the third start for Travis Ishikawa all year. He's been coming off the bench primarily. Aaron Rowan will bat 8th and Barry Zito 9th. All of that brought to you by Southwest.com. And let's peek in at a scouting report I'm sure you all know well now at home on Ubaldo Jimenez.
Well, 92 to 100 miles an hour, 82-85 curve, slider, and that nasty split finger, 87 to 92. Interesting enough, in his last 4 starts at Coors Field versus the San Francisco Giants, 2-0. with a 0.93 earned run average.
It is a pretty night, a little cooler than it was last night. There's some cloud cover. Last night's opening pitch was 89 degrees. Let's take a look at the defensive alignment tonight for the Rockies. They'll have Cargo in left field. Dexter Fowler's in center. Ryan Spilborgh's against the left-handed pitching Zito's in right field. Ian Stewart, Clint Barmas, Johnny Herrera. How good has he been? Belvin Mora gets the start at first. Todd Helton is still a little gimpy with the back. Miguel Olivo is doing the catching. And Ubaldo completing his warm-up pitches in his last outing in San Diego. He was perfect through 3. Took a no-hitter into the 6th inning and then hit a little bit of a rough patch. Gave up 4 runs in that 6th inning. And his evening was done. The Rockies went on to win 10-6 in that ball game. Far more runs than anybody would have expected, especially since he had that no-hitter going into the 6th. He's proven in 2 of his last 3 starts, George, that he's human.
Well, he's going to make mistakes. The ball got up a little bit against the Boston Red Sox and then against San Diego. Much of the same thing. As you look back over his season so far, 13-1, 115 in his first 14 starts. And in the last couple, he's still 1-0. He's had a lot of run support, 6 of all game.
First pitch is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space in your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 15. One weekly winner will be chosen. So here we go. Saturday night full house. Ubaldo Jimenez to Andres Torres, and the fastball is up high, ball 1. Torres had a double leading off the ball game last night, and then Aubrey Huff would hit a 2-run home run. And that's a bouncer to Mora. He's got it, 1 out. That's a good start. That'll bring up Freddie Sanchez. Well, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during this game or any other, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies Tacos special, only from Taco Bell. The Giants have lost 7 in a row. It's their worst losing streak since the 2007 season. Here's Sanchez, and he got a hard breaking ball. Didn't like it much.
It all goes back to the fact they just have not hit with runners in scoring position. The numbers for Sanchez this year: 283, a home run, at 19 RBIs.
But Freddie's just 4 for his last 35, make it 4 for his last 36. With 2 outs on 2 ground balls, Aubrey Huff will come up. He is one of the few guys in this Giant lineup, as George described the struggles with runners in scoring position. He's one of the few guys that's actually hitting the ball decently. 3 for 7 in this series with a couple of bombs.
Typically an RBI position, but not when Ubaldo's on the mound. They've hit just a $174 with 2 RBIs this season from the 3-hole.
Hard curveball for a strike. Last night, Huff in the first inning against Yoli Chacin. Chacin would give up 5 hits in 6 very good innings, 3 runs, and 2 of the hits were home runs from Aubrey Huff. And Huff did a Baryshnikov pirouette, not quite in that class, of course, and it's 0-2.
Well, one of them usually did it with a bat, the other one did.
Yeah. And he's going to give it the obligatory jog to first. That's a rather dominant first inning. 7-pitch first inning, including a punch out. Rockies get ready to roll on offense. They won 6-3 last night. They won 7-3 on Thursday evening. Dexter Fowler will lead things off. How hot has he been? 6 for 8 in the series. Last night they could not get him out. He'll be followed by Jonathan Herrera, who's been terrific. He's going to have a big following pretty soon. He's hitting 291. Cargo's at 294. Melvin Morrow back cleanup. Then Spilborghs, Olivo, Barmes, Stewart, and Jimenez. And the first pitch from Barry Zito is a fastball inside, ball 1 on Dexter. He went 51 at bats from the right side this year. He's hitting 351. That's high, 2-0. Home plate umpire is the crew chief, Brian Gorman. Paul Nauert's at first, Ted Barrett at second, Tony Randazzo's at third. That's in there, 2-1. And this is popped up down the right field line. The wind's got it, but the catch is made by Ishikawa.
Yeah, wind blowing tonight right to left, so it's going to blow a lot of those balls back into territory where they can catch it. Let's take a look at Barry Zito, and we'll see what he's going to feature tonight against the Colorado Rockies. His outpitch for years was that slow curveball, 68-75. Since his added slider/cutter, 78 to 83, 81 miles an hour. Then you had the changeup, 77 to 82. Barry started the year out wonderfully, 5-0 with a 149 earned run average, and in his last 10 starts, 2-4, 474.
Zito's numbers, George discussed it earlier, 5-2, 195 ERA career against the Rockies. And in 13 starts, it bears repeating, Colorado has hit just 193 off Barry Zito. And this ball is chopped into left field by Jonathan Herrera. Pablo Sandoval in on the grass, guarding against the bunt, and he punched it by him.
Well, how many bunt base hits does Herrera have? He's got speed, and everybody knows about it. He handles it that way. Did that on the squeeze last night.
Here's the defensive alignment for the Giants. Rowan in center, flanked by Huff and Torres. Torres can throw. He's out in right field. Sandoval and Uribe left side. Sanchez and Ishikawa. Ishikawa's got a good glove at first. And the kid, Buster Posey's behind the plate. He played first yesterday. Here is Cargo. Cargo's hitting 308 lifetime against Zito. And Herrera goes immediately, and he is safe at second. So the Rockies have Herrera go first move on Zito, surprising everybody in the yard.
First stolen base for Johnny Herrera this year, too. He's going to get a big jump. And Zito, once he starts his momentum to the plate, a lot of left-handers have the ability to slow things down and go back to first base. He's out if they hang on to the baseball. They do not. On the Hyundai cameras, you can see the ball fly out of Juan Uribe's hands as it got to second base.
Gonzalez was 0 for 5 last night. Stayed off that. It's 1-1.
You know, the most amazing stat for me about Zito, and he's one of those guys, 140 wins at the big league level, 109-6 when his team scores 4 runs.
Isn't that amazing?
109-6. Be a tough time for them to score 4 runs tonight with Ubaldo on the mound.
This ball rifled to right. Hit so hard, Herrera's got to stop at third, and Cargo's hung up.
A lot of times when you see a high throw come in from the outfield and really miss a cutoff man, you feel, because you're running up the first baseline, you don't know if they're going to let that ball come all the way through to the plate area because Johnny Herrera may be trying to score. That's a base running mistake by Cargo. He didn't look back over the shoulder. You can tell by the slump of his shoulders he's not very happy on what happened. Here's the slider outside part of the plate at 81 miles an hour, and he just smokes it to right field. Torres gets to the ball in a hurry, and then it's a total airmail to the plate, and he just took off to second base. And Posey did the right thing. He looked Johnny Herrera back and then let the rundown take care of itself from there.
Key to that was Freddie Sanchez, George, moving back door to cover first base.
Absolutely it was, because everybody else was lined up, and he went where he's supposed to go whenever you get the cutoff situation.
Melvin Moore at the plate, and he takes hot ball 1. So the Rockies run into an out on the base paths. Chance to strike first against Barry Zito. Still an opportunity, but it'll come with 2 outs instead. Mora has faced Zito more than anybody else in the Rockies clubhouse from his American League days, a 176 lifetime average and 34 at bats. And a base hit, so Mora comes through, and the Rockies have an early marker up against Zito.
And you like it when one of your teammates picked you up for a bad base running mistake, and he did just that. Melvin Mora with that base hit to left field on a fastball that appeared to be up in the strike zone. Stargo getting talked to with Don Baylor on the Hyundai camps. His fastball belt tied a little bit above, so it made a pretty hittable pitch at 86 miles an hour. For Melvin Mora, they wanted that ball farther in on the hands to not allow him to extend it. Johnny Herrera gives the Rockies a 1-0 lead.
And now Spilborghs, who's had some success against Zito. He takes a strike. The Rockies 11 games north of 500 at Coors Field this year, 25-14. And when they score first at 20th and Blake, they are 20-6. 1-1.
5th hit given up by the 4-hole hitter all year by Zito. 5 for 41.
Breaking ball, and that's a base hit. And I'm going to tell you a stat now you're not going to believe. Barry Zito's curveball, which is, if not the best in the game, George, it's in the top 3. He has thrown more than 300 curveballs this year. That's just the 12th hit he's allowed on his curveball, only 1 home run.
Well, let's see where this ball ended up. It ended up in not that bad a position on the Hyundai cam. You can see, let's look at the height of the pitch. And Spilborghs just went down and got it. That's just a nice job of hitting, waiting on the pitch to travel a little bit deeper. Don Baylor spoke of what they were going to have to not worry about a lot of fastball, but to worry more to stay back and adjust to the baseball.
Olivo. Rockies have 4 straight singles. There are 2 outs because of Carlos Gonzalez getting caught in that pickle. And this is popped up to shallow right. Sanchez going out will have it. Rockies get a run on 4 hits in the first. And we'll go to the second. 1-0 Colorado.
All right,
well,
thanks.
I don't know what your report's about, but I need to hear the goal again.
Goal! I'm so good at that. crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
4 teams remaining in the World Cup. Germany will face Spain. The Netherlands will face Uruguay. And you know what? Soccer fever all over the world. It's also in the Rockies clubhouse. A lot of the Rockies baseball players used to play soccer growing up, and they said that it really has helped them with their footwork. As you can see, they're having a good time there in the clubhouse playing a little bit of soccer. I don't know if we saw it there yet on the screen. But they're still patiently waiting to see who makes it to the final. But this team really well-rounded. A lot of 2-sport, 3-sport athletes on this ball club. Carlos Gonzalez with the header. Ian Stewart. You're not allowed to use your hands there, Beef. A good time around with the clubhouse with the guys playing soccer. I was worried that they were going to hit a sprinkler head, though, right above them. And then the clubhouse was going to be, just doused, guys.
Brad Hopp in the background doesn't seem particularly interested in the soccer game. Strike one on the breaking ball to Juan Uribe. 1 out. Sandoval had his bat blown up. 9 pitches in. Jimenez has thrown 8 strikes. George, you got to like that.
Absolutely, and it's the command of the fastball. He just shattered Sandoval's bat. The guy that hit 400 of him against him in all the previous meetings between the two.
It's kind of interesting, George. Right now, Jimenez is pitching backwards.
Showing a lot of soft stuff early, and then come back with a hard fastball.
Like that at 97. 1 and 2. And I love the location. Go above his hands.
Well, it's away from him. He's a dead pull hitter. You want to try to stay away from that inner half of the plate.
And a catch by Stewart. It was as if he was going up to try to head the ball into the goal. But he used his glove as well.
It's all about timing when a ball's hit this hard. This pitch trying to go to the outside corner. It got a little bit too much of the plate. Uribe was right on it, but not as much as Ian Stewart was when it came off of the bat. Good reaction to the baseball.
Fastball off the plate on Buster Posey.
Against Aaron Cook the other night, Posey took a down and in sinker at 90 and hit it to the opposite field. He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable at the big league level. That average above 300.
He dialed up 98 right there, George. He didn't much like that.
Now elevated in the strike zone. Looks pretty good to hit. Just hard to hit.
That is filthy.
Forward strike zone, more of a cutter than it was a true slider. But the velocity really tricks a lot of hitters into taking swings at that. Again, Evaldo's one of those rare feats, rare guys in the game of baseball that has 4 pitches that he can bring on any given night.
Here's the 1-2. That was a splitter. Yeah, you include both changeups, the circle change and the splitter. It's 5. In fact, when you throw out location, there are really 12 different signs that Olivo uses.
Let's look on the Hyundai cam. Evaldo has extraordinary long fingers. So you can see it come through, and then you're trying to pull. You watch those fingers pull right from your catcher's mask to the dirt. That's what creates that tumbling action on the baseball.
3-2. The Rockies coaching staff has been very impressed in watching Buster Posey at the plate. A couple hits last night. Home run on Thursday, and that's just off the plate at 99. So the first base runner for the Giants. And with 2 outs, Travis Ishikawa will come up. Ishikawa's been almost exclusively coming off the bench for the Giants. He's 9 for 20 as a pinch hitter this year. You'll see him as a defensive replacement at first. Last year, he, a large part of the season, was their starting first baseman. And that's all for the Giants in the second. They do get a base runner. Rockies lead it, middle of 2-1-0. Nice play, Melvin Mora. Rockies up 1-0 as we go to the second inning. It'll be Clint Barmas, Ian Stewart, and Ubaldo Jimenez. Our hit of the week brought to you by the Colorado Mining Association. Clint Barmas. He's been hitting everybody. 2-run home run last night to tie up the baseball game in the second. And Barmas fires at the first pitch here. 0-1 against Barry Zito. Do you know what's in your walls? Wallboard from gypsum. And it's mined right here in Colorado.
Last 10 ball games for Barmas, 436 average, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 19 runs scored.
This ball's hit well to center. Aaron Rowan still going back. He'll catch up with it. Allowed out to begin the second inning. And Ian Stewart will come up. Ordinarily, if Todd Helton's back wasn't tight right now, you'd see Helton at first and Mora at third tonight against Zito. But with Helton out, you have Mora at first, and you want Stewart's glove in there with Jimenez on the mound. And this ball is an easy play for Torres in right. Let's take a look at our Breaks Plus poll of the night. We're down to the Elite 8 of our Sweet 16 of Ballpark Foods. Text Rocks 1 for hot dogs, Rocks 2 for barbecue. Text those answers to 95323. This month at Breaks Plus, $25 off any brake service, $10 off an oil change. So hamburgers, cheesesteaks coming up, Cracker Jacks, pretzels, peanuts, nachos, and tonight it's hot dogs and barbecue. Baldo slashes that one into the stands. Rockies with 24 hits in the series in the first 2 games, 4 more tonight already. Their average is steadily climbing overall. They're 261 entering play tonight. They've moved up to 4th in the National League in hitting. Right now the Reds leading everybody with a 276 average, and then the Dodgers and the Marlins. Rockies next, followed by the Mets, and then Milwaukee and Atlanta. But you know, just a couple weeks ago, George, the Rockies were in the lower half.
Yeah, high 240s. All of a sudden, Don Baylor's got some guys more of a better game plan, apparently. The guys playing a little bit better baseball, swinging the bat better. The results are there. The hard work's paying off.
Good inning for Zito. 1, 2, 3 from the bottom third of the Rockies order. We'll go to the third. 1-0 Rockies. Generals Quote of the day, former General, former President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Not making the baseball team at West Point was one of the greatest disappointments of my life. Maybe the greatest. From Ike. A Geico quote of the day.
Sure, that coach got fired later on.
Down the road.
Do you remember?
Yeah. Aaron Rowan, the notorious first pitch swinger, got a hard breaking ball, which has been a consistent theme here in the first few innings for Ubaldo. Didn't offer at it. It's 1-0. He's also a guy that prefers the ball down in the strike zone. It's a changeup. 2-0. First 2-0 count of the ball game for Jimenez. Right center field, and Spilborns can't get it. It's off the top of the wall. And a leadoff double for Rowan. First hit of the ball game for San Francisco, and that was a pitch down in the zone.
Well, again, Aaron Rowan's not a giant. So when he gets the ball down into the zone, watch how he drops down to go get this baseball. He's got tremendous power. He's a very strong man. And, you know, I'll tell you what, you give him a ball where he puts some solid wood. I know his numbers have been decreasing since signing the long-term contract. He's fought a lot of injuries, but he hit this ball 375 on the line. They're always looking for that bat in San Francisco. If he gets hot and gets back to his Philadelphia days, there's a chance he could help this club turn it around.
Zito gets the bunt down. Jimenez will get the out at first. I thought for a moment they may make a play on Rowan because Ubaldo's so athletic and he got there quickly. But Olivo was saying 1-1-1 the whole way.
Well, early in the ball game, 1-run lead. You got a pitcher that can drop strike out some people. The thing I think you do, by the time he spins around, it makes the throw, even though he's got a lot of velocity. The smart thing, get the out. Well, San Francisco's been really hot with runners in scoring position. Trying to be funny, and it's not funny if you're San Francisco. 6 for 36 during this losing streak. An average of 167.
Now this is where if you're Ubaldo Jimenez, who's not overly concerned with strikeouts, he has 102, which is a great number in 113 innings. But he's content to get quick outs. Here he would like a strikeout. That's why you've seen 98 twice. It's 1-1.
One of those rare abilities to go get that extra 4 or 5 miles an hour when he needs to go get it. So San Francisco, National League's lowest average. They're there. Not something you've got to be proud of. 237. A year ago, this ball club scored 657 runs. That was 26th in Major League Baseball. This year, they are 25th. 324.
You know, they tried to address it with Aubrey Huff coming aboard. They addressed it with Mark DeRosa. DeRosa's out for the season with a wrist injury. Had to have surgery. They brought up Buster Posey. Here's the 2-1. 3-1.
Well, Benjamin Leno's numbers were so far off from where they were a year ago, too, at this time. They were counting on that bat to be a little bit better than it was. Since been traded for Chris Rea in the bullpen from the bullpen of the Texas Rangers.
This guy at the plate, George, is one of the few quote-unquote athletic guys they have. They have good baseball players, but they have some age. They don't have a ton of athletes running around the field.
Well, where they spent a lot of money was in draft picks, was in pitching, and that's paid off.
Three and one on Torres. And he lost him. So his second walk of the ball game. Freddie Sanchez coming up. Freddie an average runner, so if he hits one on the ground, a chance to turn over the double play and get out of the inning. Sanchez hit it on the ground as short his first time up. That would work well here. Torres a threat to run.
14 stolen bases. He's been caught 3 times.
Really the only base stealer they have. Waldo was talking about making a little bit of a mechanical adjustment between his last start and this one, even though he had 5 innings of no-hit baseball. Felt like he was flying open a little bit, George. There goes Torres, and it's a hit-and-run base hit, and we're tied up at 1. It's going to be first and third. Sanchez as good as anybody in the game, hitting inside the baseball, staying inside the baseball, and shooting it the other way.
Well, that's why he does so well in batting average. That's why you see his average as high as it typically is. A batting title in his pocket a couple of years ago. When you want to go to the right side of the infield, a couple things you do. You want to make sure you get out on that front foot, reverse your shoulders so you get the bat plane going towards the first base side. And from the overhead, you really saw that from Freddie. An inside-out swing to the right side, shot it through the hole.
Now Aubrey Huff, who struck out on 3 pitches his first time up, fouls this pitch off.
Talked about guys being added to a ball club to help them out. 25% of the RBIs that Huff has come against the Rockies, along with 4 home runs and a .362 average.
One ball, 1 strike. Torres is at third. He walked, went to third on Freddie Sanchez's RBI base hit. Did he go? No. Jimenez thought he went. Tell by his reaction after they checked it out at third base with Tony Randazzo.
Third base, first base umpires, we've seen this an awful lot. That's what they're looking at. Did it go beyond that line, the foul line, going to third base with a left-handed hitter up?
That's the pitch he struck him out with his first time up, that hard slider down and in. See where he goes here. To second, and no catch. Safe at first. The runner never advanced at third base. Torres.
I think Jim's argument is going to be, I thought he caught the ball, because when I saw the glove go down, I saw the darkness of his glove, and I saw a ball go into it. That was a little confusing. I am really not sure whether Paul Nauert saw it or not. Let's slow this thing down. That ball really, maybe it's short hop, but you'll be able to see here. I mean, it's pretty close. Either way, Johnny Red flipped it over to Barmas and then on to first base.
I'll give Huff credit. He got up the line. I thought that was going to be a double play either way, George.
Well, I did too, because you could see when he got to the baseball, look where they all are. I mean, they're quite a ways from the destinations they need to go to. Freddie Sanchez had to freeze. So that's the easy out at second, and Huff got up the line, but I was surprised by it.
The key is Torres wasn't sure if it was caught, so he stayed, freeze on a line drive, and doesn't score because, you know, ordinarily you hit a ground ball to second, you beat the throw, first to third, you get the run home.
Well, that's why I think it was a little bit confusing to everybody, including Jim Tracy.
But we watched it twice on replay. Yeah. I don't know if he caught it or not.
Right.
Couldn't tell
whether that ball was caught or not.
0-1 on Sandoval. That will get your attention.
Not a bad idea for a guy in 22 at-bats, has a home run and then just one RBI, but he hit 409 against him on the Hyundai cam. You'll be able to see a little Nolan Ryan bow tie here.
Good block. Quiet approach by Olivo. That ball hit the dirt, the breaking ball. And he just dropped, blocked the 5-hole, and buried his chest on it. Perfect technique. One ball game. Jimenez has dealt with some traffic here in the third. And he pops him up in a difficult locale. Here comes Fowler, and he can't get it. A bloop single gives the Giants the lead.
That's really disappointing. When you make the pitch you want to make, and you put it right where you want it to go, and then you jam a guy this bad, but because of his power and ability to hit the ball into the gap, you got to play deep into the outfield. But Barmes and Fowler both gave this a long chase to try to get there. On the Hyundai cam, you see Fowler stretch out, brace himself, bounce just short of him. Clint very alertly grabbed the baseball and got it back in again.
Here's Uribe. Yeah, he made a great pitch, but Fowler was deep. And you hear outfielders talk about it, George, periodically. You see a big swing, and your first step may be back. Ball and a strike.
Well, it's more of the reputation of the hitter, too. You know, a guy that does have home run power, gap power, and Sandoval, that you're somewhat concerned to that. And then when you do see the big swing you're talking about, it kind of locks you up for a second.
That just missed. Just a handful of pitches to get through the first 2 innings for Jimenez. The 26 here. Look out. Not all the way to the backstop. Here comes another run. 3-1. Wild pitch, 7th of the year by Jimenez. And that'll bring Apodaca out.
Just slow the game down a little bit. Have a conversation with the star pitcher.
Third walk.
See, they want to go to that outside corner, and this thing just took off on him. I know it woke up Uribe. Wow. Yeah, when a pitcher's, this ball's going to scoot all the way to the screen. Here comes Ubaldo in. The reason they didn't have a play on him, Ubaldo was a little bit late, but Olivo bobbled the ball coming off the wall. I like what Brian Gorman's doing here, the home plate umpire. He's allowing, and we've seen it 1,000 times, where the umpire comes to the mound immediately when the pitching coach comes out and try to break it up for the speed of the game. He recognizes a very good pitcher that's in a little bit of a jam right now, and let him and his catcher settle their way through this and give them the time they need.
This is a tough out right here in Posey. He walked his first time. Inning began with a double by Rowan. Zito sacrificed in the third. Torres walked. Freddie Sanchez a hit and run single. Then Huff hit it to what off the bat you thought was going to be either an inning ending double play on the ground or a line drive that would enable the Rockies to double the runner off first. They said it hit the ground and Huff beat the return throw to first.
Okay, Tim Flannery at third base really paying a lot of attention to Barmes. The Rockies are one of the few teams in baseball that's not scared to snap a throw to second base and shorten an inning up.
And Jimenez, remember we mentioned, George, 8 of his first 9 pitches were in the strike zone.
And it's changed a little bit since then.
It's almost, it's gone the other direction. He's thrown 49 pitches, 27 for strikes, 22 out of the zone. So obviously since that point in time, far more baseballs out of the strike zone.
Posey, first walk of the game for Jimenez too. It's 1-1.
Has not been hit particularly hard, other than the double by Rowan. Bloop single off the bat of Sandoval drove in a run and kept the inning going. Otherwise, the Rockies are in the dugout in a 1-1 ball game. But Jimenez has got to put it down. Here's the 2-1, 3-1. Another hitter's count. Ubaldo really laboring here in the third. We have to show a shot of Bob Apodaca with Jimenez on the mound showing concern. Now the runners will be moving here. 3-2 on Posey. This is one of those moments in a game. Rockies already down 2 runs. Facing Barry Zito. You got to get Posey. And he did. Threw a slider, worked underneath it, and the bases are loaded for Travis Ishikawa as the Giants have hit around here in the third. Has that happened all year with Jimenez on the mound? He's given up a few runs lately. I don't remember anybody hitting around against him.
Stunned looked on Jim Tracy's face as well as everybody else in the ballpark right now.
2 straight games, George, with 4 walks as well for Jimenez.
That pitch count climbs very quickly, too. 53 now, and you're not out of the third.
Ishikawa hit a soft liner to Mora his first time up. High fly ball to deep right field. Is it going to stay in the park? Grand slam, Travis Ishikawa, who has started less than 5 games this year. Unbelievable. A 7-run inning against Jimenez here in the third. We want to talk about stunned. More than 48,000 can't believe their eyes.
Well, again, appeared to be a changeup, 86 miles an hour on the Hyundai Cam, and it just stayed up in the strike zone, and it got out of here in a hurry.
Just his 2nd home run all year. He's been a pinch hitter and a defensive replacement, and he just hit a grand slam. So here's Rowan again. He started things about 20 minutes ago with a double to right. That also is the first grand slam hit by a Giant all year long. When the world thought it would come against Jimenez. The 6th home run Jimenez has allowed all year. Seven runs for the Giants in the inning. 7 runs on just 4 hits. 3 walks in the inning as well, and a wild To anyone, test drive it today. Giants on the 4th of July will conclude this 4-game series. Monday's a day off for the Rockies, and the Cardinals come in. And the Padres will be the final team in before the All-Star break. Dexter Fowler against Barry Zito, and the Rockies, shockingly, have a lot of work to do. They're down 7-1. First time all year a team has hit around against Jimenez. Most runs he's given up in a game. And it comes in 1 inning.
Well, as a team hitting now, what you have to do is not try to go out with every swing, put a 7 spot on the board. You go out and just try to put numbers up, get guys, get him in trouble, and try, if you can, to peck away at that lead. The Rockies have done that numerous times this year, where they'll score 1, 2, maybe 3 an inning. Get back into it until you get that one big shot.
And that's the start. Dexter walks. Johnny Herrera will be up for the second time. He had a single his first time up.
Pretty interesting, and it continues now. The last 2 series, the first hole versus San Francisco this year, 15 of 23 in the last couple of series. Really a 700 on base percentage.
Talking to Jason Giambi today about Johnny Herrera, and he said, you know, back in my Yankee days, for the vast majority of time, he said, we had a ton of guys who could rake, obviously. He said, but we didn't have a guy like Herrera, great situational hitter, get a bunt down when you needed it. This is slowly hit. Sandoval comes up with it. That goes under Sandoval's glove. Rockies have first and second, nobody out. Good play by Sandoval.
Sandoval, big man, but he's got a lot of range. His first step, very quick, got to the baseball. It'd take a nice friendly hop for him, too, up to his glove. Then a snap throw on to first.
Gonzalez ripped a single to right his first time up. Took a wide turn at first and ended up in a pickle. And that cost the Rockies. They got 1 run in that first inning, despite the fact, George, they had 4 straight hits.
Think about that. 1 run on 4 hits. Things could open up a lot more without some snafus on the base paths.
1 out here. Herrera at first.
Posey threw the ball pretty good, too. When Johnny tried to steal the base. Wasn't hung on to by Uribe. Jonathan Herrera got his first stolen base of the season. Posey, this is just the 3rd game this year that he's caught. He caught 4 in September last year.
He's going to catch a lot more because Benji Molina was traded 48 hours ago to the Texas Rangers. Despite the fact that the Giants, right there in the middle of the pack in a very competitive National League West, Brian Sabian recognized, Bruce Bochy recognized, they had to change some things offensively and even defensively if they were going to contend all season long, even with that great pitching staff. This ball's crushed. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Home run number 14 for Cargo. And the Rockies inch back in it. It's 7-3.
Hit that magical number for Cargo, too, now. 50 RBIs before the break. A goal for a lot of guys that drive in runs to hit that mark, and he does with his 14th home run.
Well, last year he hit 13. He just passed that.
Well, a big sweeping breaking ball that just didn't do a whole lot. See, it's starting to spin away from him. Look at the extension and strength in the swing and the plate coverage on the Hyundai cam. Fargo timed it perfectly. Somebody must have told him it was coming with that swing because he saw it out of the glove and out of the hand and all the way into the bullpen.
"14 home runs, 70 games this year, 13 home runs, 89 games last year. He will be one of those 30-30 players, which is a rare breed. And he has a chance, George, not only to be a 30-30 performer, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. He leads the club in stolen bases with 12. But he can be a 300-plus hitter also.
Oh, he will because of his speed, I think.
2 balls and a strike on Flora, who had an RBI hit in the first.
Got a fastball up when he got the base hit earlier, trying to run it in and cut it. He left it out over the middle of the plate. Moore made him pay for it. Got his 12th RBI out of the deal.
Down the line, fair ball. Melvin Moore hunting second base. Now it gets kicked around out there by Huff. And he'll still get it back in and keep Moore from going to third. Counterattack by the Rockies here in the bottom of the third.
I said that at the very beginning of the inning. Just go up and do what you do. You got a long time to try to connect and get this thing tied up. Rigetti's going to come out and visit with the young catcher Posey and Zito. In the Hyundai cam, you could see the hook coming. Morris saw it, went down and dropped the head on it, shot it right by Sandoval down the third base line. Got down there into that corner, though. Huff wasn't familiar enough. That ball shot around in the cement area underneath the padding. Made a nice recovery to get to the baseball. Double hits here and there.
You had 10 runs in the first 3 innings, didn't you, with Jimenez and Zito going, George, combined?
Yeah, I kind of figured it'd be that way, and then it'd just be a slugfest from then on. It's amazing.
Wait, it's fireworks night, right? Remember the Marlins and Rockies a few years ago? A couple of years ago on fireworks night? The Rockies came from 9 runs down to win. Here's Spilborghs. And he hits one high in the air to left field. Huff drifted back, and he missed it by a smidgen. He's going to go back to the dugout, and he's going to tell everybody, or they're going to tell him, you just missed that one. Cover the top of his head. That'll bring up Oliva. Miguel, since May the 12th, hitting .370. Which is the highest batting average for any player in the National League, with at least 100 plate appearances. Rockies get a couple of runs back with Johnny Herrera aboard. Carlos Gonzalez hits one in the bullpen. 7 Tuesday, Houston straight back in the closer's role. He's in San Diego at Petco, and he got his first save of the year. Got a second last night. Carlos Gonzalez at Coors Field on Thursday. This one into the fountains. And Dexter Fowler on Friday. 3 more hits after having 3 on Thursday. Our clutch plays of the week brought to you by Amco AA MCO. Barry Zito at the plate. And he's got a 1-1 count. He had a sac bunt his last time. 2 impeccable innings for Ubaldo Jimenez, then the worst inning of his season, and that's kind of been the story this the last couple of outings for Jimenez. I mean, he had 5 great innings, George, in San Diego, and then the 6th inning he gives up 4 runs, including a 3-run home run to Scott Hairston.
Well, the bugaboo inning previously had been the 6th inning. It didn't happen that early in the ball game for him. Then all of a sudden he had this little hiccup here happen tonight.
What did you see last inning, George?
That ball got up a little bit in the strike zone. Mistake made on Ishikawa. I mean, you slowed the ball down to his bat with a changeup. 85 miles an hour, just stayed up in the zone.
And all of a sudden missing the strike zone badly. He's walked 4. Torres has walked once. There's the 1-0 to Torres. There had been some talk, depending on how much Jimenez pitched tonight, how hard he was stressed, I think was the term used by Jim Tracy, as to whether or not he would go Thursday against the Cardinals or the Rockies would push him to Friday against the Padres and maybe insert De La Rosa in his first game back on Thursday against St. Louis. See how that plays out. Jim Tracy, I'm sure, will let us know in the next 24 hours or so. 3-1 on Torres.
Studying the lineup card now for the Rockies, that if he did want to go get Ubaldo, because obviously he's not going to let him continue to throw balls and struggle. 36 strikes, 30 balls in the game so far, just 12 of 20 first pitch strikes. It's a little unusual. You start to try to play the games through your mind.
And Torres slaps a base hit past the diving Stewart. Good job by Gonzalez. Firing it back in. It went off the glove of Barmes, but Jimenez was alert and backed that up. 1 out single. That'll bring up Freddie Sanchez. Xcel Energy fun fact: 25 pitchers have won 15 games or more before an all-star break. The last to do it was Toronto's David Wells, who was 15-2 back in 2000. Did you know that you could sign up for an in-home energy audit and learn simple ways to save around your house from Xcel Energy? The way to do it, visit responsiblebynature.com. Wells that year would finish 20-8, by the way. Waldo will have 1 more start prior to the All-Star break. As we mentioned, it'll be either Thursday against the Cardinals, and that could be a matchup because the Cardinals have changed some things around. That could be a matchup with Mr. Carpenter.
Be a nice little matchup, wouldn't it? The pitching staff coming in here.
One on Sanchez. Giants, during this 7-game losing streak that they're in the midst of, they've scored 15 runs. There goes Torres, and it's a hit and run. Sanchez got a piece of it. Esmil Rogers is up throwing in the Rockies bullpen.
Well, watch the Rockies take on those St. Louis Cardinals when they come to town July 6th through the 8th. Buy your tickets by calling 1-800-388-ROCK or go on to ColoradoRockies.com. Pitch count, the struggle of the ball games dictating this a little bit for Jim Tracy to get Ismail up. Baldo's third up. He may call it a day here in the fourth inning, and then piece it together with the rest of the bullpen.
Double play ball. Rockies turn it over. They lead the National League in turning double plays. 7-3 Giants, middle of 4. Surprise, surprise, if you're just joining us, you're not going to believe this. The Giants have a 7-3 lead. Travis Ishikawa, a grand slam for the Giants, capping a 7-run third inning against Ubaldo Jimenez by the offensively challenged Giants. And a footnote to that home run with the bases loaded. It's the first time in Ubaldo's career he's given up a slam. Here's the 0-1 to Barmes, and it hit him. Barmes is the best in the Rockies clubhouse at doing that. He won't bail. He'll just turn, take the pitch, and go to first base. He is a gamer, and you know Don Baylor's smiling inside. Tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you always get 40% more for your gold. Here's Alana again.
All right, Drew, you can appreciate this since you want to learn another language. Barry Zito, obviously a very accomplished pitcher as well as an accomplished guitarist and musician. He wants to learn French. So at night on the road when these guys are traveling, he's been listening to Rosetta Stone to try to learn French as quickly and as well as he can. In the offseason, he plans to take a trip to France to learn and practice the language that he's been learning on Rosetta Stone. I was talking to Houston Street about him earlier today. He said he's very much a Renaissance man. This guy has a list of hobbies a mile long, and he's very accomplished at many different things, and everything he does is true. It's absolutely legit. He doesn't do it just for show. So if he can learn French on Rosetta Stone while he's on the road, you can learn Spanish while we're traveling, Drew.
Alana, parlez-vous français?
No.
No.
Español sí, francés no.
By the way, Zito, fifth year for Barry Zito's strikeout for troops. The SFT that he does. There's a lot of number of guys that participate with this. It's raised over $2 million in those 5 years to help disabled troops when they come back, help them get their lives put back together.
Well, he's not only a Renaissance man, he's a very philanthropic guy as well, not to mention pretty fair pitcher. 1-2 on Ian Stewart, who popped to right his first time. Barmes at first. Rockies down a 4 spot. I may be forced, George, to go to Rosetta Stone also.
If you can't say it, you can't go to it.
No, I got to go to it because Alana was supposed to be giving us
wait a minute.
Lessons.
Not us.
Well, me and Hugh. You had wanted no part. And
well, I can speak enough to order food. That's all I worry about.
She fired us. You have the Rosetta Stone for Oklahoma, right?
See, I knew that was coming because it was led to you by Jim Armentrout, who's directing tonight.
Well,
I knew you could think of that on your own.
I did, and I let it go. I have to tell you, partner, I let it go the first time.
Well, that's all right. Everybody's jealous. We're still in a TP, and we don't have colleges. We go to tents, and you know.
Oh, stop. Here's the 1-2, and that's fouled off. So Stewart hanging tough.
Zito, fifth winningest left-handed pitcher with 100 wins or more. How about that? 140 and 110 more year. Father Time, 267 and 202 among active pitchers, followed by Pettit, Bathia, and Burley.
Wow, that's a home run, George, if they can quickly move the foul pole.
Hey, watch out.
Wow, somebody's dinner got upset. Now you're up there in the Mountain Ranch Club dining, having a little filet mignon. You don't think a baseball is going to land on your plate.
See that guard come running in there and check him really quick? The guards here at Coors Field do just a terrific job when foul balls get into the seats and get, if need be, they get medical help there in a hurry.
Well, that's a good AB going for Stewart. I asked him before the game yesterday, I said, how you doing? You seeing it well? And he says, yeah, I feel really good at the plate. And that's usually the first sign of good things to come.
He reminds me so much of Brad Hopp when Hopp first came to the big leagues. It'll go in spurts for him. It'll be really hot, hit over 300, drive in a lot of runs, a lot of home runs, and just go really cold, ice cold for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden here it comes right back again. And at the end of the year, it's going to be 23, 25, 26 home runs. It's going to be 75 to 85 RBIs as he continued to climb through this game.
Yeah, I would think he's fixing to have a big second half. 9 home runs, 34 RBIs in the first half. Again, today is game number 81 for the Rockies. It's the halfway point. And they're ahead of their pace of last year when they won 92 games.
10th pitch of the at-bat, able to just flip it out there and get it against the screen.
And here's one of the ironies, George, of this ball game as well. Rockies coming in, have done next to nothing against Barry Zito. He gave up a run in 7 innings in early June at AT&T, and the Rockies ended up, after he left, winning 2-1. Tonight, they're hitting him harder than they ever have, but of course,
got the
rare hiccup by Ubaldo is on the in the on-deck circle, and the Rockies are trailing 7-3. And a base hit down the right field line. Barnes off and running. He has a chance to score. In fact, he'll score standing up. Here goes Stewart. Stand up triple. 7-4. What an at-bat for Ian Stewart, George. Maybe his best AB of the year.
Got a breaking ball that stayed up in the strike zone from Zito. He hadn't been able to command it. He got too quick earlier and visited the Mountain Ranch Club. That time he kept his hands back, stayed back on the baseball. You see all those dots. A lot of pitches. The big hook at 73. Stewart just reached out and caught it before it ever got back to the plate area. That thing just shot by Ishikawa at first base, and he got down into that corner, and Torres had to chase it like a rabbit pinned up. It took a while to go get the baseball. By the time he did, Barnes had scored. Stewart was at third.
2 nights in a row, you got a lefty. You squeeze.
Well, they're going to be a little bit aware of it. I don't think they will with the Ubaldo as much as they will with Johnny Herrera.
The reason I say with a lefty, it's harder for a lefty to see it early naturally because they can't see the runner.
3-run ball game right now. They got their infield midway right now, so they can get the out by doing this. Now you got an opportunity with Fowler and Herrera coming up behind him. And Dexter, you mentioned earlier the way he has hit right-handers.
You cannot leave this run out here at third base. Now with 1 out, with third base with nobody out, to get within 2 here in the 4th inning. It just changes the whole complexion of the game. Infield halfway.
Ron Woodis runs the defense for Bruce Bochy on the infield, and he was pushing Freddie Sanchez back a little bit and keeping Uribe and Sandoval tight on the left-hand side.
mentioned it earlier, Dexter hitting above 350 from the right side this year. And a much higher slugging percentage from the right side as well for Dex. The slugging percentage at .529 from the right side of the plate. Here's the 1-1. Good pitch, 1-2.
Anticipate a fastball in. More than likely a cutter or a back foot slider. It's going to look like a fastball to Dexter, and it's going to come in. With an open stance, typically you come in closed. Let's see if they go inside. They went away twice to work ahead. Posey'd like to go back out one more time. That's not any good extension to the plate at all by Zito. That pitch stayed up high.
Stewart a left-on-left triple. And a 10-plus pitch at bat. And good job by Dexter staying off that 3-2. Now as he takes a deep breath, the count moves back in his favor. Outfield moderate depth. Torres in right, the most shallow. Strike 3 on the inside corner. He throws him with a fastball. Boy, that is a big strikeout by Barry Zito. Now it'll take a 2-out hit from Herrera.
There's that fastball inside. They talked about, thought it might come a little bit earlier in the at bat than now.
First strikeout of the ball game. What a time for it. Well, you don't want to leave that runner at third. Nobody out with a runner at third. I guarantee you one thing, 18 is going to make him work. Johnny scored 2 runs tonight. 1 for 2, single, and reached on a fielder's choice. Herrera's hit 14 of his 15 starts.
Well, those hits equate to an average of 352. You know, starts Drew's talking about since Tulo went on the DL.
Here's the 1-2.
Both pitchers' pitch count climbed pretty high. 68 now for Zito in the game.
Good numbers with runners in scoring position for Johnny. And a ground ball to short. Well, the Rockies get a run, excuse me. They leave Stewart at third. It is 7-4 San Francisco as we go to the 5th. And by Colorado Hyundai. Hyundai was just named the most efficient car maker in America. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. Aubrey Huff with a 1-strike count. And he pops it up in the infield. Barmes handles it, 1 out. Take a look at this date in history, brought to you by Dex One. Marketing Solutions business results, July the 3rd, 1966. Braves hurler Tony Cloninger is the hitting star in a 17-3 rout over the Giants. He rips 2 grand slams, drives in 9, and becomes the first National League player to hit 2 grand slams in the same game. Pablo Sandoval's at the plate. He gets a slider for a strike. And he was late on that fastball, running away from him. Same pitch, just off the plate. It's 1-2. Sandoval's hit, George, in that 3rd inning, in some ways was a backbreaker. This is down the line, and it's curling foul. It's a 1-1 ball game. There are 2 outs, and Jimenez makes a pitch on Sandoval. He hits a towering pop up to shallow center field, but Dexter's playing deep. Sandoval's got plenty of pop. And by the time he got there, Barmes came running out. It just dropped in between. It was perfectly placed. Run, scores, keeps the inning alive. Otherwise, Jimenez is in the dugout. It's 1-1.
Well, I would agree partially with you on that. If you're able to turn a double play on Huff's ball, too, you're out of the inning.
There were a couple
and
of
that
places.
was right before Sandoval came up. And then, obviously, Ubaldo got a little bit rattled. He walked 2 in a row before Ishikawa left the ballpark.
And a bad pitch. And he slowed it down and to his bat with a changeup, and the pitch was way up in the zone.
Pecked away at this thing, though. It's a 3-run ball game. It makes it a little easier to get back into this.
Juan Uribe coming up. 2nd inning. He thought he had himself at least a single, maybe a double, and Stewart climbed the ladder. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. Uribe with 2 outs. Very well-liked guy. Always has a smile on his face at the ballpark. Uribe, the leaders of the Giants. Came up in the Rockies organization. George, he's carved himself out a very fine career.
Great career. He went on over to the American League with the Chicago White Sox and performed brilliantly over there through the World Series and everything else that went on there in 07. You know what he was able to accomplish.
20-plus home run pop for Uribe. Still makes his home in the Dominican in the offseason. For his last 12 at the plate. In the air to left field, and the wind is wreaking havoc with the baseballs right now. A long fly ball, 1-2-3 inning for Jimenez. Cargo. AB for Carlos Gonzalez. Barry Zito nearly got a whiplash. And the baseball got a dent in it. 14 home runs for Cargo. He's 2 for 2 tonight. 4 home runs in his last 6 ball games. And he'll lead things off here in the 5th against Zito, followed by Melvin Morris Spilborghs. Here's something for you tonight, George. Cargo's got 50 RBIs. The top 5 guys in the lineup tonight for the Rockies came into the ball game with 89 RBIs. That's Fowler, Herrera, Cargo, Moore, and Spilborghs. Obviously, Cargo leads the club. He hits it to deep left this time. And it'll be caught by Aubrey Huff. Off the bat, I thought that had a chance to go. The bottom 3 in the order, excluding the pitcher, Jimenez, 6, 7, and 8, 114 RBIs. That's Olivo, Barmes, and Stewart.
Led by Barmes with 41.
Moore is 2 for 2, single and a double. Rockies have 7 hits against Barry Zito. And that's a shot to Ishikawa. He caught it in the air. 2 outs. Spilborghs coming up. Take a look at our AT&T trivia question. At 146 and 102, the Rockies have the 4th best record in games after June 30th since 2007. So basically, we're talking about teams in the second half. Can you name the 3 teams who've played better in the second half of the last 3 seasons? Our AT&T trivia question tonight. Spilborghs a single and a drive to deep left. Takes a strike. That's a changeup, 1-1. And 1-2. Rockies trying to hang the 7th loss on Barry Zito in his career when he's been given 4 runs or more of support. 109 and 6. I can't believe that number. He's going to have a 1-2-3 inning here. Now we start to move toward the back half of the The third inning, with Travis Ishikawa hitting a grand slam on a chest-high changeup. Buster Posey, then Ishikawa and Aaron Rowan in the sixth inning against Ubaldo. Strike one. Slider just off the plate.
Last night we were fortunate enough to have Clint Barnes' wife up, and he hit a home run while she was in the booth. But she was here to tell us all about the Colorado Rockies' wife as they host their annual grab bag for charity event. July 6th and 7th, the Cardinals are in town. So come to the ballpark, spend $40, get a mystery autographed baseball. There's a pretty nice little collection going on down there. Not just with Rockies players.
2-2 on Posey. 2 walks in the game for Buster. He was 0 for 3 on Memorial Day when Jimenez outdueled Tim Lincecum. Kyle Parker has been in town the last couple of days. George, the Rockies' #1 choice out of Clemson, has not reached an agreement yet with the Rockies, but he took batting practice this afternoon, and tell you what, he showed tremendous bat speed.
Very upright, kind of reminded me a little bit of Tulowitzki's type stance, but he has a whip to the bat that generates a lot of bat speed. A couple of balls, more than one, a couple out of the ballpark today.
Tulo was talking, and that's yesterday. He's on the right. Brothers in the striped shirt. The 3-2, and he got him on a slider. That is just the 3rd strikeout tonight for Ubaldo.
But he did it too with a pretty good placement of this pitch. Good breaking ball outside part of the plate at 84 miles an hour. My
guess, George, you tell me if you concur, is after this performance, Ubaldo's in the low 90s in pitches, obviously had the rough 3rd inning, is that Jim Tracy may be inclined to push him back a day.
Might be.
Though Ubaldo's on record, you know.
He wants to go ahead and pitch, but it's just 93 pitches. He's averaged about 110, 115 pitches per start this year.
You know, Ubaldo's on record as saying that he feels he pitches better just on 4 days rest, and he has better command as opposed to when he has that extra day. Well, we'll see.
Well, outside the hiccup in the 3rd inning, he's throwing up a bunch of zeros. He's only given up 5 hits in the game.
It's been the trend 3 of his last 4 starts where he had 1 inning. Hard to find fault with Ubaldo Jimenez. What a brilliant year he's had. On a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, strikes out Ishikawa. First time he's seen him since the grand slam. A little something extra on that one. The Rockies have the 4th best record in the second half of season since 2007. The 3 teams with better records. Strike 1 on Rowan. The Yankees, the Angels, and the Phillies.
Not surprising if any of those 3 ball clubs.
And the Phillies, you know, for all of their disappointment this year in the first half, they haven't been hitting. They've dealt with injuries. Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley's now going to be out for a couple of months. They have the same record tonight, George, that they had a year ago at this point.
Well, they're just going to try to fight to keep things going, too, because Polanco's out at 3rd base for a while, so they've gotten beat up pretty good. You can see tonight they've unloaded 12-3 on Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh had played and pitched very well the last couple of ball games. 2 shutouts.
Curveball just missed. Ubaldo had 20 pitches in his first 2 and in the 3rd inning. Here's the 2-2. And he struck out the side. He has retired 7 in a row. Rockies trying to bail him out tonight. He has bailed this club out all year long. cam. Down the right field line by Ian Stewart. 10th pitch at bat. Turned into a stand-up triple, an RBI triple. Unfortunately, the Rockies couldn't bring around Stewart, who was at third base with nobody out. 7-4 our score. That was the Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Cam. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Alana Rizzo. Miguel Olivo's at the plate. He's got a 9-game hitting streak. He has hit identical pop-ups to Freddie Sanchez at second base in his first 2 plate appearances. Zito misses there. It's 1-0. Couple hits last night for Miguel, a single and a double.
Another interesting stat looked up by Doug Marino on Barry Zito. He pitches after his club's lost 3 games in a row. He's got a record of 17-8. He's kind of in that position now, trying to extend it to 18-8.
Jimenez is due up 4th this inning. Ray and Runzler in the bullpen for the Giants. Randy Flores is up for the Rockies. Ruthie Baldo due up 4th in the inning, and Colorado trailing by 3. Good location with that fastball away from Olivo. Two and two. Miguel leading all big league catchers in batting average at .316. He's second in home runs with 11 and RBIs with 39. Fouled off, and this could be playable around the Rockies dugout, or maybe not. Good. Well, if that baseball were to hit your windshield, you'd have a problem. And we know how to fix that problem. Call Safelight Elite Auto Glass 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. Miguel also has 5 triples among the league leaders in that department. The last catcher with 10 triples in a season, the Royals' Darrell Porter back in 1979. This is chopped to third. Tough hop for Sandoval. Long throw. And Ishikawa picked it. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
All right, Drew, thanks very much. It's very well documented that Barry Zito and Houston Street are very good friends. When Houston Street was drafted by the Oakland A's, Barry Zito was already there for 5.5 years, and I said, what did you learn the most from him? What's the one thing that you take away from meeting him? He said that his passion and his approach to the game. He had already been there for 5 years, and he still had that same passion and approach that he did when he was drafted, when he was a young kid trying to prove himself. He said, I try to take that into every single start that I have, or every single outing I have, excuse me, and he's that way in every single thing he does, guys.
Well, Rick Barnes brings a passion to the ballpark every night. And he also, tomorrow, will bring an 11-game hitting streak to the yard. A 1-out single for Barmes, and here comes Ian Stewart.
Changeup that Clint really got the bat head out on early. Zito has left this thing up all night long, and he's had to pay for it. Barnes reached out, pokes this thing down the left field line on the Hyundai cam. This ball's actually working its way down. Clint just didn't give it a chance.
Stewart tripled his last time up. 7-4 San Francisco, bottom of 6. And an interesting idea. Stewart trying to bring the tying run to the plate for Brad Hopp. Come up. Stewart wasn't banking on getting on that way. 2 on. Hop will pinch hit for Jimenez. Keith Duggar will go check out Ian Stewart and see where it got him, George.
Now you're going to see on the Hyundai cam, it appeared that it got him right on the bottom of the elbow of his throwing arm. That's what the one thing about it. It's going to be awfully painful when it starts to swell up on him. Moving around, trying to get some feeling back, hit directly on the funny bone. Second man that Zito has hit, and that's going to be it for Zito. Bochy's going to the mound. Surprisingly, but not. I mean, he's not going to let this game get away. As many games as he has managed at Coors Field, with Brad Hop coming up, and the Rockies with just one right-handed pinch hitter, and that's Iannetta on the bench.
7-4, 2 on, 1 out for the Rockies. Bat available to you at home, commemorating Ubaldo Jimenez's no-hitter back in April over the Atlanta Braves. It sells for $99.95, but Ubaldo has agreed to autograph a special signature series of the same bat. There'll be 300 of those. They'll sell for $325. Here's the deal: if you want to purchase the autographed bat, or if you want to upgrade an already purchased bat, call Big Time Bats at 1-866-280-BATS, or go to BigTimeBats.com online, and you can make your order there. George has one of those.
Yeah, right here's signature right here by Ubaldo. Actually, I have the very first one that he ever signed. It's right here. See, #1.
Sounds good. Dan Runzler's in the ball game. Rockies have 2 on. Brad Hop at the plate. Pinch hit last night.
Well, that's the big thing about it. Runzler's got a big arm. He can bring some gas right at you, and that's what he'll probably do with Hop. He'll run it up to 97 miles an hour at times with that fastball. It's extremely good.
Brad was right on that heater, sitting dead red, fouled it back, and came in at 95. Hop pinch hit last night in the 6th inning and walked. He was on this.
He was on it at 95 miles an hour. The other thing Runzler will show you, he'll show a curveball up to 81, a slider up to 87, an occasional changeup.
When you think of the accomplishments of Brad Hop in the game, and he's nursing sore ribs, feeling a little bit better today. That's why he's been out of the starting lineup. But when you have Giambi and Seth Smith, even with the long and distinguished resume of Brad Hop, you're pinch hitting in the 6th inning, not late. Driven down the left field line. This will score well. Here comes Stewart to the house. Barnes will get a stop sign. RBI, pinch hit double, Brad Hop, tying run at second base.
Game changes. You just got to battle your way back into it. It's at the end of the 3rd inning, or it started the 3rd inning for the Rockies to hit. They trailed 7-1. That has changed. Brad Hop on the season as a pinch hitter. His first hit as a pinch hitter. First RBI for Brad Hop, RBI number 29 with the runners in scoring position. A very difficult job against left on left to do what Brad just did, and that's to drive the ball into left field and get the run across.
We're going to get a double switch we'll tell you about in a moment. Bruce Bochy goes and takes the baseball from Dan Runzler. Here come the Rockies. Nate Shearholtz comes in right field. Andres Torres is going to slide to center. Aaron Rowan has come out of the ball game, so Shearholtz will lead off next inning. And on the hill is the former Rocky, the hard-throwing Denny Batista. Now, the league hasn't hit much against him, but George, he still struggles with bouts of wildness.
He does. 17 and 25 innings, yet he can punch you out, too. He can have some velocity with it. And, again, he's one of those guys that's a hard thrower. That's kept him around the big leagues for quite some time for Batista.
Dexter Fowler at the plate.
Well, this year, Batista's inherited 5 base runners, and only 1 has scored. Tough spot here, 1 out, second and third.
Tying run at second in Brad Hop. And this is Luke to center field. Great read by Hop. He's coming home. We're all tied at 7. Jimenez is off the hook. Rockies were down 7-1 in the third. We're all even.
RBI for Dexter Fowler now, and he got jammed on a good fastball, but was able to get it out of the reach of Uribe at shortstop, and then his Hop watched the flight of this baseball. Torres had just shifted to center field and was still had a lot of depth in the outfield. Hop comes around to score after his double to drive in a run. Dexter Fowler.
And now a running situation for Dexter. Johnny Herrera at the plate. And you have a guy again on the hill, George. He can uncork a wild one. 1 out. How good has Dexter Fowler been since his return from Colorado Springs?
6 of those 7 runs charged to Zito.
Best ball game the Rockies have ever had against Barry Zito. Oh, that's in no man's land. Safe at first. What a bunt by Johnny Herrera. Here comes Bruce Bochy out to argue with Paul Nauert.
Frustration coming out in Bruce Bochy with his club losing 11 of the last 14 ball games. And the job that's been done on the road.
You know what, George? He's going to hang till he gets tossed.
Well, you have a pretty good chance of that, too. And pretty soon, if you can read lips, Paul Nauert's going to say, Bruce, you want to go?
He's trying to light a fire under his team. They were up 6 runs. They scored 7 on Jimenez. As you mentioned, they've lost 7 in a row. There he goes. That's what he wanted. And from Bochy's standpoint, you understand it.
Well, you see, he takes the hat off immediately to prevent any contact with the umpire, so he can go ahead and let it out and get it over with. Paul Nauert's not going anyway, and he's going to listen to Bochy for a while. You see it again. Batista, big man, 6'8", flips the ball to first base. Let's look on the Hyundai cam, and they'll give you a really good shot of this. Ishikawa,
he got
Hyundai cam tells you he's out. Bochy had a legitimate argument. 1 for the good guys. The Rockies pick up first and second. There's 1 out, and Bochy's out of the ballgame.
Ron Lotus will take over, the longtime bench coach. He'll be the acting manager. Here's Ronnie. Carlos Gonzalez coming up, 1 out, 2 on. He's had a big night already. A reminder that the Rockies hitting that magic number of 7. Check in at Taco Bell between 4 and 6 tomorrow to get your Rockies Tacos special. Gonzalez tonight, a single, a line shot to right, a 2-run line shot home run to the Giants bullpen. And a drive, George, we thought was going to get out of here to left field his last time up that Aubrey Huff caught in very deep left field. Fowler, the go-ahead run at second. Here are the home runs by location this year for Gonzalez. He likes the ball down. All the left-handed bats do. And Fowler's going to try to move up. They throw behind to Herrera. He's safe. We talked about wild pitches with Batista, George.
Well, he could do it too. And then Posey blocked it. And then on the receiving side of it, Uribe had to make sure he kept that ball out in front of him as the ball got into the dirt. Blocked by Buster Posey, and Batista throws hard. Swing and a miss. He blocked the baseball, and then he just fires down. I wonder if it bothered him a little bit. Batista was in the line of fire.
Read the dirt ball. Read the arm angle, and Fowler and Herrera did that, and they were able to move up on a pitch that was blocked nicely by Posey. Infield comes halfway. This is an ideal situation for the Rockies. Their RBI leader, Gonzalez, with 50. One out, two runners with speed and scoring position. And I'm surprised how shallow Torres is in center. Line drive. This will get a run home. Here comes Dexter, and the Rockies have taken the lead. And guess who's the pitcher of record? Ubaldo Jimenez can win this baseball game.
Isn't that amazing? When he's 15. Shot into left field is far enough, deep enough with the speed of Dexter Fowler at third base.
And now Melvin Moore with two outs. Herrera at second base. 3 RBI night for Gonzalez. High on Melvin. Melvin's 2 for 3 tonight. The only out he's made was on a line drive to first. There was some concern about moving Carlos Gonzalez to the 3-hole. He's still a very young player at the big league level. Would he be able to handle it? And he's handled it just fine. 8-7 Colorado. 12 hits Thursday against the Giant pitching staff that's third in baseball in ERA. 12 hits last night. 8 runs, 11 hits tonight, and the Rockies aren't done. They're hitting in the bottom of the 6th. And a swinging bunt that's going to go foul, fortunately, because Posey would have been able to throw out Melvin Moore. Denny Batista, third pitcher used this inning by Bruce Bochy. Bochy's been tossed out. Three and one. Spielborg's on deck. Rockies were down 6 runs in this ballgame. Said it earlier, George, it's fireworks weekend at Coors Field. This happens every year.
This is one of the most unexpected things you would see happen. 15 runs scored with Zito and Jimenez on the mound.
Mora hits a towering pop-up. Uribe will have it. The Rockies get 4 in the 6th. They take an 8-7 lead. Cargo the go-ahead RBI. Jimenez now with a plus sign. It's called 1-800-COMCAST. Manuel Corpus will take over in the top of the 7th.
39th appearance, 2-4 record, save opportunities. One of those happened in the 7th inning where he blew one. So basically 10 of 12 as the closer. Innings 44. Strikeouts all good. The home run's a little bit high. Has struggled in his last 3 ball games.
Jimenez is the pitcher of record on the plus side. And Denny Bautista has got the hook right now. Schierholtz takes strike 1. First at bat for Schierholtz came in last inning in a double switch in the middle of the inning. Jimenez gave up 7 runs in 6 innings. The 7 runs all came in the 3rd inning. He finished very strong, retired his last 7. In fact, struck out the side in the 6th inning. Posey, Ishikawa, and Rowan in succession. 5 strikeouts tonight. 4 walks by Ubaldo, 2nd straight ball game. And he allowed 5 hits. The big blow, an Ishikawa grand slam. That's inside. 2-1. Two and two.
Good slider down and in. Good pitch.
Ubaldo, by the way, threw 101 pitches. Here's the 2-2 to Schierholtz. Then a pop foul out of play. Schierholtz, then Torres and Sanchez. And this is lined to right center field. And it's going to roll to the wall. Now the tying run's going to go to second base. Schierholtz, well, he's thinking about 3. And he's going to get there.
Part of the reason why Joe Bimel's warming up down in the bullpen for the Rockies right now is you can start to get those left matchups. Don't be surprised if Jim Tracy goes and makes that move in a hurry. Difficult spot now, nobody out. Another slider appeared to work under for Corpus. Instead of staying on top and getting a dive, it was a flat slider that Schierholtz shot out into right center field, and then he was off to the races. Fowler and Spielborgs gave chase.
Torres at the plate. Infield back up the middle, in on the corners. Shearholtz has to see it past the pitcher's mouth and make sure it's not pulled or hit right at Ian Stewart for him to break. Line drive, base hit, and this game's tied again. So just like that, Manuel Corpus gives up a run, and Jimenez will take a no decision tonight. He had a chance to come away still with an unlikely victory. Jim Tracy has seen Manuel struggle his last few outings. It's been a wild ride for Corpus this year, George. Out of spring training, he makes the club probably because of some injuries, most notably to Street, as the long man. And then he was brilliant in that role. About a month in, he finds himself in the 9th inning, and he did well in that role for a little bit. And then he kind of fell out of favor there, and he keeps moving the other direction now.
Well, Houston Street came back too, so I mean that's the guy you gave the 3-year contract to close out games for you. And I think maybe that affected Manuel Corpus somewhat on his psyche coming into ball games as this one.
If you're wondering why Corpus tonight and not Matt Belisle. Belisle threw an inning and 2/3 yesterday. And Jim Tracy said before the ball game he wanted to stay away from Belisle.
Maybe he was to use him to get out of an inning.
He was hoping, George, to get Corpus to work a scoreless 7th and then hand the baseball to Rafael Betancourt.
Manuel paying a lot of attention to Torres at first base with 14 stolen bases.
This is in the air to center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Corpus has been greeted by 3 straight hits, and this may force the hand of Jim Tracy. Yeah, Freddie Sanchez coming up.
That's right.
He's a right-handed batter. You have Aubrey Huff coming up. That was Sanchez with a hit, so you're going to go get Corpus now and bring in Beimel. And then that flips around Sandoval also to a side of the plate where he has struggled. So Corpus does not retire a hitter. Triple and 2 singles. 8-8. Ball game. It was 8-7 a few minutes ago. He gives up a triple, an RBI hit to Torres, and then Freddie Sanchez with a base hit. And now Beimel will try to keep the Rockies even. That'll be a tall order. But Joe Beimel's had a special first half.
He has had that special first half, 1-0 with an earned run average at 213 in 25 innings. 25 in the third innings. Runners first and second, nobody out. Beimel can induce some ground ball double plays. He needs one here.
Huff's 0 for 3 tonight. Torres, great speed at second base, best on the Giants club. Freddie Sanchez at first, just okay.
Not blazing speed, but a very smart base runner.
Rockies now have Betancourt and Esmil Rogers in their bullpen.
Esmil to get out of the inning. Rogers would, Betancourt come on and pitch the eighth if they have to catch the lead. Give them enough time to warm up preparation to come into this game. Big sweeping breaking ball to the outside corner, and the Hyundai Cam started right at the hitter. See Huff start to make a move on the baseball, and as he does, that ball just disappears all the way across the side of the plate. 73 miles an hour.
One and two on Huff. Crowd wanted it. Tad inside.
See on the fourth strike zone, trying to work a fastball in to get him to commit to it. It's off the plate at 86. Come right across that left-handed batter's line. Good pitch by Beimel, though.
Swung on and missed. Beimel strikes out Huff out number one in the seventh.
Now coming right out of the hand, you'll see this pitch start to make the move away. Bob Apodaca very quickly out to the mound. Big sweeping breaking ball again on the Hyundai Cam. Strikeout and one out.
That'll bring up Pablo Sandoval from the right side of the plate. Sandoval, George, from the right side of the plate this year, he's hitting just 221 versus 288 from the left side. No home runs, just 6 driven in from the right side. Take a look at our Quest high-speed pitch. Zito's not a hard thrower. He topped out at 89. Ubaldo hit 99. Brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. Pablo Sandoval also has grounded into a National League leading 18 GIDPs, George. Grounded into double play. There's the splits on Sandoval.
San Francisco 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position. The Rockies 4 for 10 tonight.
Here's the list of guys that have grounded into a lot of double plays. Some good players on that list, including this one, Sandoval. 2-1 the count. Torres at second, Sanchez at first. Outside. Now the Rockies trying to make this another special 4th of July weekend. Talking about the comebacks. Rockies down 7-1 tonight. And they're now tied at 8. 4th of July 2 years ago. Best comeback in team history. They were down 13-4. They didn't win 18-7. They didn't take any runs off the board with Florida that night. And then they had the great comeback against Detroit in 04. Fouled off.
Typically, managers like to get the matchups to where their pitchers can be very successful. And with Joe Beimel not available for more than an inning at most tonight, Jim Tracy tried to get those matchups. Now, with that being said, Beimel was able to strike out Aubrey Huff, who had hit .750 against him in his career with a home run. Now he's going right at Sandoval, who is 3 for 5 with a home run. And ahead in the count 1-2. Sometimes history doesn't always prove what a manager may do or what the results may be.
One and two on Pablo Sandoval, second in the league in hitting last year behind Hanley Ramirez. He hit .330. Great story about Sandoval. We've told you before he's ambidextrous. He can throw righty or lefty. Obviously, he throws right-handed in the big leagues, but he was born throwing lefty. I mean, he's left-handed. Taught himself to throw righty because he wanted to be a catcher when he was 9 years old. In fact, last night, George, I was watching him take ground balls during a commercial break. And at one point, he picked the ball up, dropped his glove, and fired it to first left-handed from third base. Just to mess around.
Entertaining play. Either that or he had a bet in the dugout. One or the other.
One and two on the kid known as Kung Fu Panda. Torres takes off for third and he swipes the bag. After all the checking on Torres, when Beimel finally does go to the plate, Torres with his 15th stolen base.
You see that back turn the way he does to hide the baseball even more. It gives a bigger jump for the runner at second base to go. You're not going to alter your delivery just because a guy's at second base.
Two and two.
Well, every single person that shows up to the ball game on July 10th, you're going to receive a 2010 Rockies poster. That's right. Every single fan at July 10th ball game, call the Rockies. We'll go online to 1-800-388-ROCK.
Sanchez at first, 3-2. And Sanchez will draw a look. Just in case Ron Wotus decides to start the base runner to stay out of a double play. in the air to deep center field. This will give the Giants the lead. Huge stolen base by Andres Torres, and it's 9-8 San Francisco.
Second RBI of the game for Sandoval. He now has 32 on the year. He's telling what he's doing is telling Apodaca which right-hander he wants out of that bullpen. So when he points down there, Jimmy Wright will know who to send in when the umpire asks for him.
I would think in this kind of game, you're going to have Betancourt go get 4 outs.
Well, you'd think so. And again, it's a 9-8 ball game. Pitcher's 5th up.
I know Trace's philosophy is do everything you can to win it in 9 innings. You with your money. By Larry H. Miller Boulder, Toyota, driven by you. And by King Supers, our people make the difference. Where that rainbow came from, I don't see any rain. Rockies hoping for a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow tonight. They were down 7-1. They took an 8-7 lead. Manuel Corpus gave up 3 hits to begin the inning. He has been charged for the 2 runs that have come across in the inning.
Well, it felt like that Betancourt's the right guy because he and Uribe has some history between him. 5 for 17, 35th game for him to appear in. The impressive part, just 5 walks in 29 innings with 36 strikeouts.
Betancourt's been pitching exceptionally well. Sanchez at first with 2 outs. Uribe didn't get any of that fastball. 0-1. One of those nights, George, you would never have thought we'd be looking up in the 7th inning at a 9-8 score with Ubaldo Jimenez and Barry Zito hooking up.
It's a long way from being over, too.
And that was my next point. 9 doesn't get it done tonight, does it?
I don't think so. If they can get it to the 9th inning with their closer, then they'll have an opportunity. Athel came in yesterday from the left side. He's the only guy left down in the bullpen from the left side for the Giants. Romo's been warming up to come in the game for acting manager Ron Wotus. So Tracy's studying his clipboard with the way he'd try to map this out. If they happen to get people on base, who he's going to go to. Is it Giambi, the matchup he's looking for?
Rockies in the bottom of the 7th will have Spilborghs, Olivo, and Barnes. 1-2. 2-2. Slider missed. "36 strikeouts this year for Betancourt, only 5 walks." Tremendous ratio. Here's the 2-2. Go away against Uribe, and then he missed with the fastball at 94.
Youngster Posey in the on deck circle.
Slider, George?
Well, you know, it's the one pitch. If you slow it down a little bit and you happen to hang that thing, he's going to crush it. And I'd like to see fastball away from him and make him go out there and try to catch up to it, which I don't think he can.
That was the call. Heater away. Sanchez will be moving. Well, he got it, and the ball ran back over the plate. So Betancourt strikes out Uribe, but 2 runs in the inning, charge to Manuel Corpus, and the Giants are on top 9-8 again. Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. Travis Ishikawa with a grand slam, capping a 7-run third inning, believe it or not, against Ubaldo Jimenez. But the Rockies would come back. Barry Zito serves one up to Carlos Gonzalez, his team leading 14th with a man aboard. And then in the 6th inning, the Rockies would get even. In fact, they would take the lead. Dexter Fowler, a 2-run single. And then Carlos Gonzalez will deliver the go-ahead run with a sac fly. But the Giants have jumped back out on top. It's 9-8, a wild one here on the 3rd of July. Bottom of the 7th inning, 9-8 Giants. That look back brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Sergio Romo is on for the 34th time. League hitting just .211 against him, and the Rockies will send up Ryan Spilborghs here in the bottom of the 7th. He's 1 for 3.
And you look at the walk strikeout ratio here at 31-6. He doesn't walk people in 31 2/3. 5 home runs given up, though. You can do that with the long ball. Right at Spilborghs with a heater.
Barry Zito went 5 1/3. He gave up 6 runs on 8 hits. It's one of the best outings the Rockies have ever had against Barry Zito. He walked 1, struck out 1. Runzler faced 1 hitter. He gave up a double, and that man would score. 0-2. Batista went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. Jimenez, until the top half of the 7th, had a chance to win this baseball game, despite giving up 7.
Well, Jeff Houston talked about it in the pregame show. You got to be good, but you got to have some luck to go with it. Last couple of starts, he's fashioned a 7 earned run average. They've got wins out of one of those 2 starts. And tonight, if the bullpen would have held up his part of it, he had an opportunity to win number 15.
Both he and Zito will take a no decision. This one's on the pens the rest of the way. And that was a nasty slider, and Romo strikes out Spilborghs.
A hard slider this time. It'd gone away from him. There's that quick darting slider at 80 miles an hour. The long side, kind of low 3/4 delivery from Romo. He can affect a right-handed hitter. He'll get 3 in a row. Levo coming up, and then Clint Barmas.
Levo's got a 9-game hitting streak, 2 pop outs and a ground out tonight. In the air to right field, playable for Shearholtz. Repair that chip in your windshield. Call Safelite Elite Auto Glass 303-287-5000 online at safelight.com. Clint Barmas had a base hit his last time up. He was 1 for 2. Hit by a pitch in the 4th. 2 runs scored tonight. He's got an 11-game hitting streak. Strike on Barmas, 1-1.
Well, it crossfires a little bit, and then with that long arm angle, you can't really pick the ball up and depict whether it's going to be a slider or fastball. Seth Smith in the on-deck circle. took a little off of that slider. 78. He dropped it 3 miles an hour.
One ball, 2 strikes on Barmes. Nobody on in the 7th inning. And a comebacker. So Romo works a 1-2-3-7. We'll go to the 8th inning. 9-8 San Francisco. Plus Saturday night food, Elite 8. Hot dogs or barbecue? It's got to be dogs, right? Yep. 76% running away with it. Now we've had over 600 votes. Keep those votes coming in. Text those answers to 95323. Now the Rockies have made a double switch. Or excuse me, they just made a change on a double switch. They brought in Todd Helton. He's at first base now. Melvin Mora goes to third. And Stewart comes out of the game. He was scheduled, George, to lead off next inning. And Jeremy Affeldt is going to handle the 8th inning.
Yeah, I wondered a little bit too. What I'm thinking about is when he got plunked right on the throwing arm into the elbow too.
That to me is what it's got to be, because Stewart in his last at bat against a lefty had a great at bat, maybe his best at bat all year. That was against Zito, 10-11 pitch at bat, and he tripled down the right field line. I think it has everything to do with him getting plunked on the elbow. Here's the 0-2 to Posey. So Mora's now at third, and Helton's in the ball game at first. And Ubaldo Jimenez is such a team player. Not that starting pitchers who watch from the clubhouse aren't team players, but he's sitting in uniform in the dugout. And usually after a guy gets removed from the ball game, George, they go up shower ice.
Well, and typically you do go up and ice the elbow, shoulder area. If you got any problems with your legs, I know Matt Bilal ices his left knee every night after a ball game. He had surgically worked on, but kind of about 50-50 of how many guys come back down again.
And we just got word from the Rockies clubhouse. Right elbow contusion. Stewart removed from the game and is, guess what, George?
Week to week.
Well, you missed it. It's day to day. And a season of battling injuries for Jim Tracy. Just shows the depth of this organization because they've handled it well. Guys like Johnny Herrera have stepped up. Clint Barnes sliding the shortstop in the absence of Tulowitzki. 2-2.
We go back to this pitch coming from Zito. It's a fastball that's up. You're trying to get out of the way, lift his arms up into the air, and it just couldn't get out of there. And that caught him right in a bad spot, right on the funny bone of the elbow. None of them are a good spot when you get hit in the arm, but that one particularly can affect the throwing arm.
Center field, right at Fowler. 1 out. So Helton will lead things off next inning. And then we'll get a pinch hitter for Bettencourt. That in all likelihood will be Smith. And then Dexter Fowler.
Well, where Tracy has it set up right now, if you can get to them, and that's going to be a difficult thing to do. If you can get it around to where Smith, who has long ball power, obviously, but if Giambi, one of those two guys, if this game stays 1 run with a swing, they could change it.
Right center field. Fowler gets there.
Great jump on the baseball, shaded a little bit into right center anyway, but as that ball started to sink, Fowler just flat out ran the fly to the baseball and made the catch.
Pat Burrell's going to pinch hit. Pitcher spot is the 8-hole right now. So Burrell, who started last night, will pinch hit here in the 8th. Been a good pickup for the Giants after being released by Tampa. That is 202 for Tampa. Former Miami Hurricane. He was a great, and I underline great, college player. Been a pretty good pro also. And he gets under this one. Gonzalez will handle it. Bettencourt faces 4 hitters and he retires all 4. Todd Helton will lead it off. The Giants by a run. Giants leading 9-8. As the Rockies hit in the bottom of the 8th inning, Ishikawa hit a grand slam against Jimenez the 3rd inning. The first time in Jimenez's career he's given up a slam. Cargo has done a great job tonight offensively. And Todd Helton will lead things off against Jeremy Affeldt, his former teammate. The Rockies got a couple of runs off Affeldt yesterday. Affeldt was terrific last year in his first season with the Giants, George. To be frank, this year he hasn't been nearly as good.
Well, no, he hasn't been. 30th game for him to appear in, though, and this is what they have him for. I think the walks have really affected the outcome of what he does typically. 19 walks in 28 2/3 innings. Todd Helton's faced him twice in his career. He's 1 for 2. Jason Giambi, 5 for 12 with a home run.
Jim Tracy, at least right now, is going to go with the Giambino next and hold back Seth Smith. Helton battling lower back stiffness lately. He's behind 0-2.
Well, the other thing that I'm sure Jim Tracy's looking at, and it's not hard to figure out, who's had the most success against the closer Wilson for their ball club. Seth Smith has never seen him. Todd Helton 5 for 9, but he came into the game with the injury to Stewart. And Giambi against Wilson was 1 for 2. So he'll take his shot here with Giambi to tie this thing up. Giambi hitting .417 in his career versus Jeremy Affeldt.
Rockies down to Smith and the backup catcher Ionetta on the bench. Aaron Cook has to be stretching in that Rockies dugout. First, if Helton were to get on, I'm sure he would have pinch run there. And if Giambi gets on, you could see Aaron Cook. No shift on, left on left. We noticed that last night with the Giants. With the right-hander, they put a shift on with Giambi. The only change defensively right now is that Freddie Sanchez is playing short fielder like it's a 10-man defensive softball on Tuesday night.
Playing deeper to give him a little bit more range out at second base, but a big hole up the middle by doing that.
Three and 0 on Giambi.
Affeldt's pitching to him like he knows he had .417 against him. Dexter Fowler's in the on-deck circle.
Ball 4. So Giambi walks on 4 pitches. And let's see if Aaron Cook's inserted here. Giambi's looking toward the dugout, and here comes Cookie. So the Rockies have the tying run aboard.
Well, the hard-throwing right-hander, Casillas down warming up right now in the Giant bullpen.
Dexter, a 2-run single in his last AB in the 6th inning. George, one of the things we mentioned about Affeldt, he's not a consistent strike thrower.
Not this year. 19 walks this year in 31 innings. Make that 29 innings. Santiago Casilla, the guy warming up down in the bullpen, the right-hander. It won't take long for Rodas to get there. He throws a fastball at 100.
How about this? Affeldt has allowed at least one base runner in all but 2 games he's appeared in this year.
And it wasn't the guy last year. You know, he signed a 2-year contract, got an extension because of the job he's done for the Giants, pitching into the 8th inning. Flores, the left-hander. Flores and Street both warming up down in the bullpen for the Rockies. Notice Houston Street just soft tossing. It's the way he comes into this ballgame pitch tonight. The Rockies get the lead.
Dexter thought about a bunt there. 2 balls and a strike. Johnny Herrera will be next. Aaron Cook running for Giambi, 1 out. Righties have hit .312 this year against Jeremy. Got a road ERA of 6.32.
Big number. He got out of that pitcher-friendly ballpark in San Francisco.
He's given up runs in more than half of his road outings this year.
Hey, hard to figure out, too. 97-mile-an-hour fastball is what it tops out at.
He gets a big strikeout there of Fowler. That'll bring up Herrera.
Yeah, that's one thing that Jeremy Affeldt can do. I mean, he can strike out an awful lot of people. He puts that bender on the back foot of Dexter Fowler, and he does get the strikeout on the Hyundai Cam. You can see that very tight rotation with that arm strength that Affeldt has, and able to put it in a position to get a swing and miss. There's the number Stu talked about, home and road.
Herrera tonight, a couple of hits and a third. He's amazing. He's amazing. And now the Rockies RBI leader Carlos Gonzalez, who's driven in 3 tonight, will stride to the plate. Is going to go out. This is a conversation. Nope, this is to make a change. You know, this is wild, George. You got left on left, and he wants the righty.
Because he throws hard. He throws it upwards of 100 miles an hour. And Affeldt comes in, has a walk, but he strikes out 2 here in the 8th inning. They're going to bring in the hard throwing Casilla out.
Running for Jason Giambi, the go-ahead run, and Johnny Herrera at first. Carlos Gonzalez at the plate. Brian Wilson The tremendous closer of the Giants will be asked to get 4 outs tonight. He has worked just once in the last 8 days.
21 of 23 in save opportunities. You see the strikeouts. He can rush it up just like Garcia. Wilson's been to 102. He'll average right at 94, 95. The cutter at 93 and a hard slider at 91. Gonzalez 0 for 2 in his career against him.
This kid can hit a fastball. High at 97. I'll tell you what, that shows me something right there, because he is one of the most aggressive hitters in the National League. And that pitch wasn't all that bad. Cargo didn't fire at it. 1-0.
Wilson's delivery, what you term max effort type delivery. He puts every ounce of energy he has into every single pitch.
And the cutter's inside. 2-0. Three ribbies tonight already for Gonzalez.
Tough pitch. Difficult pitch at 97. Very good placement by Wilson, but not to benefit Cargo. That thing's got some sink and tail to it. With that velocity at 97.
This kid is as cool as they come and as talented as they come. 2-1 on Gonzalez. 3-1. Melvin Moore is on deck. He's 2 for 4 tonight. Sellout crowd, more than 48,000 in the house. Here's the 3-1. Line drive right at Uribe. He smoked it. Juan Uribe was positioned perfectly. That was hit so hard, George, that may have been a tweener. And if it goes in between, Johnny Herrera scores from first base with 2 outs.
Well, more than likely he's going to, because the arm strength into the outfield. They switched everything around in their outfield with Torres there. It's going to be a run for the money, that's for sure.
All you can do is hit it hard where it's pitched, and that's exactly what Gonzalez did. You don't have any control of it after. Tell you what, Torres would have been challenged to get to that baseball to cut it off. He may have been able to. Either way, it would have tied up the game.
Absolutely. Flores coming into the ballgame, 33rd appearance for him. 1-0 record, very fine earned run average. And again, he's typically the left-hander coming out of the bullpen when the game is tied or down one, and he's in that position right now. 17 2/3 innings on the season.
Padres have won already tonight, 1-0 over Houston.
About that 3-0 shutout last night, 1-0 tonight. Pitching staff doing a lot of carrying. The back's got to be getting a little heavy out there carrying that ball club.
And the Dodgers are going to win. They're up 9-0 in the fourth, barring something crazy from Arizona tonight. 1-1. Flores working on Nate Shearholtz. Andres Torres on deck. Rockies in the ninth inning against Wilson. We'll have Mora, Spilborghs, Olivo scheduled. Barmes is the fourth man due up in the inning. Fly ball right field, easy play for Spilborghs. But George, Jim Tracy's going to have a decision because you know he wants Seth Smith to get a shot in the ninth inning. He does not want this ball game to end without Smith, who's arguably baseball's best pinch hitter, though he starts quite a bit now, to swing the bat once. And if that's the case, who is it for?
Well, the thing is, if you go with Mora, I mean, the logical place if Mora gets on base at Spilborghs, it's straight across switch. If you happen to tie the game up, you don't have an infielder left to go play third base, unless you put Iannetta at third or Olivo at third, because that puts it down to the last spot. So he may go ahead and let Mora hit, Spilborghs hit, Olivo, and then hold it at that point for him. I mean, it's some tough choices. You're not going to pinch hit for Mora. You might for Spilborghs in a straight up because then he could play the outfield.
I think it's got to be there based on the fact that if you tie it up, you're not going to have enough infielders.
You don't, well, I mean, Iannetta takes ground balls every day at third. That's a different story in batting practice than game situation in a tie game and extra innings. But he's the only guy you have left that could go play third.
Flores strikes out Torres. 2 outs.
7 pitches in this inning, 5 strikes by Flores. That's what he does well. You look on the forward strike zone, big slider, perfect position for it.
The Rockies, George, have done a good job tonight out of the bullpen, saved the outing of Manuel Corpus, who gave up the 2 runs in the 7th when the Rockies had an 8-7 lead. And this is going to sneak into left field. And a base hit for Sanchez, his 3rd of the night. That'll bring up Aubrey Huff. Betcourt followed Beimel. Beimel pitched 2/3 of an inning. Betcourt got all 4 hitters he faced, and Flores got 2 quick outs. Now the seeing eye ground ball by Freddie Sanchez. Huff tonight, he's 0 for 4. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run in the 3rd. De La Rosa pitched down in Colorado Springs tonight, George, and it's what the Rockies hope to be his final outing down there before getting back in the rotation. And he was very good in his first 2 outings. He got roughed up tonight. He gave up 7 earned runs.
9 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 4 innings of work.
But you know what? Most importantly, he's healthy. At least he was going into the ball game. Aubrey Huff, and Pat Burrell, All-American at Miami. Here's the 0-2. Fouled off. Huff in his final season for the Hurricanes, drove in what is still a school record 95 runs, 95 ribbies in a college season. It's amazing. It's a 2-strike pitch, and he's hit this pretty well to right. Wow. That is an absolute killer. Now the Giants have a 3-run lead.
Well, he's now 3 for 4 with 2 home runs against Randy Flores in his career.
He was full, too. He was way out on his front foot.
Some kind of strength. You know, Aubrey has come in here and destroyed the Rockies with the long ball. Out frequently. 47 RBIs, 15 home runs now. Let's see where this pitch is. Hard slider, and it was off the plate. At 81 miles an hour, he just kind of reaches out. The top hand has to come off of the bat. It carries out of the ballpark on the Hyundai cams. And Spielborg's thinking he might be able to play it off the top of that wall, and it ends up in the first row seat.
3rd home run of the series for Huff.
Back too, because Flores was coasting along. That 2-out hit by Freddie Sanchez. It squeaked through the left side. This long ball by Aubrey Huff.
It was a tough game to figure. I keep going back to Zito. 13 starts against the Rockies. Got a sub-2 ERA. Rockies hitting 193 against him. This is a pop fly to left field. You got Jimenez at 14-1 with the lowest ERA in baseball going. We have 19 runs up. Morrow lead off. Rockies with more work than they had hoped to do. It's a different feel in a dugout as opposed to having to scratch one out to keep the game alive. Now the Rockies need a big inning. Melvin Morrow will lead it off. Spielborg's on deck. That also changes your strategy if you're Jim Tracy and how you use Seth Smith. 1-run game. Rest assured you were going to see Smith in the first 3. Now you hold them back. You need traffic.
Wilson's earned run average at Coors Field relatively high. 12 2/3 innings pitched, 4-4 for save opportunities, 1-0. Coming into the mound. I watch these guys, their whole relief corps play frisbee every afternoon here at the ballpark. That's why they get their running in.
Different way of getting it done. Three and 1 on Morrow.
Wilson has a very quick arm, and if you watch him throw to the plate, when he gets off a little bit, he'll do what they call a heel strike, and he falls off to the first base side. If his hand doesn't get up quick enough into his zone, when he stays on line as he did right there, it's pretty nasty at 96 miles an hour and put in a very, very, very good position at the plate. Sometimes he has a tendency to fall off on it. There's Smith. He's got the helmet, the gloves. He's ready when Jim Tracy's ready.
But again, now you got to hold them back for later in the inning, hopefully, when you get some traffic. Ball 4. That's a good start. Leadoff walk from Mora. Well, you know what? I'm wrong. He's going to play that card. We thought he'd play it right here in a 1-run game, but Jim Tracy's going to play it here in a 3-run game.
Well, I think it's true more than anything that it is limited because of the fact he has nobody to go play third base. Barmas and Olivo, 2 of the hottest hitters in your lineup. You're not going to pinch hit for them. And then Todd's hitting into the 9-hole, 8-hole right now.
Yeah,
his only next opportunity. So you got to use it while you can with a runner on. Hope something good happens, comes out of it. Surprising that he and Wilson have not matched up in their careers.
Which means if it does get to a 9-hole, Rockies would have to empty the bench and go Iannetta. That's a strike.
Iannetta came in between innings from the bullpen where he'd been warming up the bullpen down there, the relievers. So he's down stretching in the dugout. That's the one disadvantage that he has. Being the backup catcher, he has to go down to the bullpen to warm up along with Strickmatter, so he doesn't get the time in the cage as much as the other guys. How about those numbers? As a pinch hitter, that's huge, man. 11 RBIs.
Not a surprise. We've watched him do it since the 07 season. Late in that 07 season when he came up for the first time. Won't happen here, though. Wilson strikes him out on 3 pitches. That'll bring up Olivo. Strike 1 on Miguel. Moore at first. He was 9-8, and then Aubrey Huff a 2-out, 2-run home run in the top of the 9th against Randy Flores. Olivo 0 for 4 tonight, brought a 9-game hitting streak into this affair.
Elevated fastball.
Yeah, strikes out Olivo. Now the Rockies are down to their final out.
Smith elevated there on a fastball when he was ahead in the count. He does the same thing here. You see Posey start to rise up where he'd like the pitch thrown. 96 above him. Strikeout.
Clint Barmas tonight 1 for 3, and he was hit by a pitch. Trying to pass the baton to Todd Helton. Jason Hamill, Matt Cain tomorrow in the series finale.
Nasty. 93-mile-an-hour cutter.
Oh, 2 on Barmas. Giants have lost 7 straight, longest losing streak since 2007. And it's snared by Wilson, and the losing streak is over. The Giants win a wild one, 11-8 over the Rockies, for their first victory in a while. The winning pitcher is Denny Batista, the losing pitcher Manuel Corpus, and Wilson has his 22nd save of the year in front of a sellout crowd of more than 49,000. Our Jimmy John's Delivery of the Game, brought to you by Jimmy John's. The padding from Aubrey Huff at the top of the 9th inning. 2-run home run, 2 runs of insurance for Brian Wilson. So the final again.